I just want to know here, because when it comes to football, in relation to this weekend, it's often said trophies are the most important thing. But the hype behind the matches this weekend is completely overshadowed by Liverpool-Manchester United, even though there's a cup final happening. Is it just me, or...
No, I think that's the feeling back in England as well. I think there's the feeling that that's such a big game. I think there's the feel... I also think as well, because Chelsea aren't playing well, people think it's a formality that Man City are going to turn up, win a trophy, and that's going to be done, and they're on for the quadruple. But I think a lot of people have just got their attention on the Manchester United-Liverpool game, and that's the only thing that matters.
Having said that, I think if you gave me the choice, what game do I want to play in this weekend? I want to play in a cup final, because it is about picking up trophies. At the end of your career, how many trophies can you say you won? And, you know, unless you are one of the great sides, one of the dominant sides in a glorious period for a particular club, you don't win too many trophies in this game. It's not easy. So both Chelsea and Man City have the best opportunity of winning a trophy out of any club in England this weekend.
There's also the argument for Sarri, isn't there? If he is to be sacked, he can walk out and say, I've won a trophy as well on my way out. Yeah. Which would upset quite a few people.
And that wouldn't be the first time, would it, for a Chelsea manager to win a trophy and get sacked pretty soon afterwards?
No,
or a Manchester United coach,
from a player's perspective, do you think winning trophies has defined your career, though?
No, because I didn't win enough trophies.
But you still won some.
Yeah.
Some players go their whole careers without winning any.
Yeah, that's true. And do I consider myself fortunate to have won some trophies? Yeah, I think I had some good fortune, yeah. Together with some hard work and some working with some great players at some great clubs as well. But ultimately, yeah, that's what counts. It's trophies for me. You know, yeah, it has to be trophies.
So you think it defines you as a player?
I think it goes a
huge... Your legacy?
I think it goes a huge way, yeah. So, you know, Spurs fans, talk to me about something that happened in 1984. It's that long ago, I can't even work it out. What's that, 35 years ago?
Yes.
Yeah? 35 years ago. They still talk to me about it today.
He was 2, I wasn't even born yet.
There you go. That's why you don't talk to me about it then.
But he did score a penalty in the cup final, I'll add that.
Yeah.
Your take on trophies defining players?
I think it's changed. I think the culture of English football definitely has changed in the fact that the top 4 places now has become a trophy as such. So to get into the Champions League places is important for the clubs. For the players want to win trophies, but for the clubs, they've changed their priorities now and what they want. I think when you look at the great players, though, more often than not, we judge players on what they've won. If you look at Messi, Ronaldo, you talk about Gerrard as well, and all everyone ever says is, great player but never won the Premier League. So more than likely you are judging people on trophies. The greats.
What do you take on what's your perspective on Steven Gerrard, because you know him?
I mean, for me, he's done everything in the game apart from win the Premier League. But that was in a time when Chelsea were dominant, Manchester United were dominant. They were spending money. Liverpool didn't have that money at the time to compete with them teams and bring that in. He could have left and gone to another club, but he was loyal to Liverpool and stood by them.
So he's still a great player, even though he didn't win the Premier League?
I can't believe you're asking me that.
I
think he's a legend of the game. I think for even to win what he won in the game at Liverpool, and the way he won Istanbul, the way he won against West Ham. I mean, both games they're behind in the games, and he grabs it by the scruff of the neck, and that's the sign of a true leader and a true great player.
Can I throw out a name of someone I love to watch? I enjoyed watching him. Sometimes I go onto YouTube, I just watch his highlights. Matt Le Tissier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say he's not a great player because he didn't really get trophies?
Well, Matt Le Tissier didn't win any trophies, correct?
Yes.
He was a very talented player. In my opinion, he should have moved on, had the chance to move on. It was his personal choice to stay at Southampton, and I respect that totally. But Matt Le Tissier, unless I've missed something, does not have a winning trophy to go alongside a long career for a very talented player. So I went into the game to win trophies. Yeah. I didn't win enough, in my opinion.
I think a loyalty can be said for a lot of things, can't it? For me, and to be loyal to a club for so long in the way that he was loyal to that team, I think speaks volumes for him. and it shows his admiration for the club and what the club meant to him. Whether he's happy that he walks away from his career without any trophies, we'll never know. But I agree with Gary. I think he was capable of playing at one of the top teams in England and winning trophies.
What about Gascoigne? I mean, how much did he really achieve in terms of trophies in England? I'm not going to look at Scotland right now, but in England.
In England, what did he do? Won the FA Cup with Spurs, yeah? 91.
And?
I'm just racking my brain. I don't think there was anything else, was there?
Exactly my point.
Yeah.
But he's still considered one of the greatest English players of all time.
But then he was a great playing in lesser teams at that moment in time. That's what you have to take into consideration, isn't it? I mean, he got a bad injury at a real pivotal moment within his career, and whether he'd have gone on to reach the heights of making Spurs a great, but then he did decide to leave and go to Lazio, didn't he?
Yeah. So, yes, you can have great players who haven't won any trophies. You can have some fairly average players who happen to be at the right club at the right time, who win a good number of trophies. But for me, it's about a great player, perceived, we judge that person to be a great player, and having a host of trophies. Let me say Ryan Giggs. There you go. That's what the aim has to be for every player, in my opinion. It has to be to play at the highest level, to an amazing standard, and win a huge number of trophies. That's the target.
But you can also look at it in another way. I mean, we've got probably one of the greatest goal scorer in the Premier League. He's won one Premier League trophy, Alan Shearer. He's a great. He is a great. He's the greatest that we've seen in the Premier League. His stats back it up.
260 goals.
Exactly. So it's the team that you're playing at that moment in time. For him, it was always about going back to Newcastle and trying to create something at Newcastle. Now, it doesn't matter how good you are. You've got to have a good board behind you, and then you've also got to have them backing it, bringing the right players in behind you. That's not your choice. That's not up to you to do that. That's up to the board to make them decisions, and the manager to put the team in and around you to create that environment that is capable of going on to make you even greater and to win trophies.